I'm Michael Kastner, and you're watching E's Look Inside Star Trek. Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Deep Space Nine are not only some of the most popular shows on television, they're also among the most expensive to produce. Creating the illusion of the future and filling it with fantastic creatures doesn't come cheap. But more important than the budget on shows like these are the creative minds who bring these worlds and their inhabitants to life.
Hello, I'm Michael Westmore, the makeup designer and department head of Deep Space Nine and The Next Generation. There's a difference in the type of work we're doing now as opposed to 25 years ago. And I would think one of the biggest differences, the materials we have now are far more advanced, far more developed, and we have more time, we have bigger budgets.
Oh, 5 after 7. See you in 3 hours. 3 hours later, what do you think? It was worth it. Every moment. I gotta go to work. They make me go to work after 3 hours of sitting there. This is the easy part. The makeup is the hard part.
It takes an hour and a half to put on. Yeah, but that's my whole makeup. And the fact is that my skin has to be matched to this, and it has to be built up so that there's not a line. And they do an amazing job.
I'm generally in, if everything is going right, I'm in at 5:45. And I'm in makeup for an hour and 15 minutes, and then on the stage for anywhere between 13 and 18, 20 hours.
It's a rash, and I'm embarrassed about it. We tried to cover it. It wouldn't work. They had a forehead on me, and Paramount apparently just went, what did you do to her face?
The process has evolved over the years from really being a pain to where it's actually tolerable.
People say, oh, does it hurt? Is it hot? Is it this? Is it that? It's, it feels like you have a cold. And actually, today I do have a cold. So it feels like I have a double whammy cold.
A lot of actors have told me that they have in their makeup felt claustrophobic. Claustrophobic. I can't even say that word.
Okay, so it's not always comfortable. Even so, the cast members willingly forego their own creature comforts for the sake of Michael Westmore's vision.
This is our alien called the Trunkhead. It's one of the more interesting, I think, and more difficult aliens that we have on the show.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be like a Fellini movie in a minute. If you've ever done body work on cars, you know what Bondo is. For the skin game, this is facial Bondo. This is a very crucial step in the makeup where my back starts to go out.
Once the Trunkhead's tedious and time-consuming makeup session is over, they're faced with an even bigger challenge. And so is their creator.
I think the more you do, the easier it gets, because you get into a role where you think all of a sudden I'm burnt out and I can't think anymore. And kind of it started to get that way after the first season. You think I've made as many bumps as I possibly can. But then the more research books that you start to delve through and you start to go through, it does. It starts to get to the point where I more or less take it for granted. It's like, okay, we need 18 new aliens. All right, you know, sit down and we'll put them together.
Hi, I'm Dan Curry, visual effects producer for Star Trek The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. With the original Star Trek, the major differences at the time that was made, the digital technology that we have today, as you see around us, was not in existence. There are two things that are happening in this shot. First of all, this is Brent Spiner as Lore, Data's evil brother, and this is Brent Spiner as Data, our stalwart commander on the Enterprise. So this shot combines the technology of a split screen where we shot Brent as Lore and then Brent as Data, and then it also combines this electronic matte painting I'm doing now, and I'll be adding a flying buttress over there and we'll provide you with the finished shot. Here's the finished shot. This is where I painted in the flying buttresses and just extended up the building with an electronic airbrush. And running, it looks like...
I think it's kind of nice that, at least for a little while, some of the kids who watch the show really kind of believe in it and think we're real and that we really are in space and I'm really a machine and not just a boring adult.
Well, the actors like it. I think it's fun. They enjoy seeing the shots put together at the end. It's like if they're being shot against a blue void and they see the final shot, they kind of get a kick out of being in outer space.
Get ready. And left. And back.
The national dampeners are offline. Life support is failing. Entering the planet's atmosphere.
And right.
There are certain characteristics of this show that people have identified as being very Star Trek. And what I've just been doing now, i.e. this kind of acting, whenever, you know, the shuttle is going through a lot of clear air turbulence. I always feel slightly embarrassed when, you know, there are visitors around, because it's one of those Star Trek cliches, you know, the bodies being thrown around inside the shuttle.
Another important part of visual effects on our shows is morphing.
I remember Odo morphs, right? Rene Aubergenois morphs into different things, and there was one show that he morphs into a rat. How the hell did they do that?
We have Rene scanned in the computer with a laser scanner, so we have his body in the computer essentially as a puppet, and we can animate him and morph between him and his live-action self, taking him from a liquid state and making him ooze through grates and travel along the floor, and then morph back to his live-action self then.
A rat is the most sort of animated thing. Usually I'm doorknobs.
We've had him flow into a lap.
I've been a picture on a wall.
We've had him had a very bad headache.
I've been a chair.
Just a lot of interesting different shapes.
I don't know. The Trekkers know everything I've been.
It's that world of enlightened adventure that attracts audiences. It certainly makes it attractive for us to work on.
Amazing how they do all that stuff, isn't it? Well, don't go away. We've got true confessions of Never Say Die devotees when E's Inside Look at Star Trek continues.
I watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. My favorite character is Hairless. He is always in command of the ship. He's at the bridge. His name is Patrick Stewart.